Hey, this is Rocket Brain Surgeon. Today we're looking at the M18 Hellcat. We're following Maxwell around as he uses the strengths of this tank to just straight up abuse the opposition. The Hellcat has been amazing right when it came out, and together with the KV-1S, it pretty much dominates Tier 6 games. The big things going for the Hellcat are going to be its turret and its camouflage. Normally other tank destroyers have to give up something to get that turret. For example, the T-28 prototype has just a terrible speed that it has problems getting to the battle in any decent time frame. The T-30 has a great turret, but you either choose between a large alpha derpy gun or a small alpha better handling gun, or the E4, which has that turret, but the armor is far less effective than something like on the E3. I suppose there is a downside to the Hellcat, in that is the armor scheme. It does not have any if you bounce a shot or absorb a shot. Just thank God, because that's going to be a pretty rare occurrence. However, the other thing that's going for the Hellcat is its massive camo. It has some of the best camo values in the game when moving, and has very good camo values when firing, so for the most part, you really should not be seen. The Hellcat has 10 degrees of gun depression, which means you can put this tank in a variety of areas. You can pop up anywhere on the map. You notice that Max also is running a camo net. He wants to really abuse that camouflage effect. If you look at the ammo count and you look at the game state, you'll notice that Max is already within the possibility of running out of ammo. And if you wanted to say that's a downside, I guess so. That's generally one of those quality problems. If the tank runs low on ammo in a lot of games, that either means the tank is great at chucking out damage very quickly, or it just has so much survivability that you're going to go through your clip. And the Hellcat is kind of a mixture of both. The damage per minute is not that great, you're not going to wow people, but the alpha on the gun is pretty solid, and it's just the fact where you can stay so far away from the battle. The gun is very accurate, and you just can keep shooting so much. You can see that on the right flank, or on the east flank rather, Max was about 500 meters away and just continuing to gun, and now there's enemies on the west flank 400 meters away who cannot see Max. That's just not possible with this kind of camouflage in this distance, and he's just unloading on them. The turret coupled with the quick aim time allows the Hellcat to just get a lot of shots, so try to set up in some very high traffic areas or where you can have some view over a lot of high traffic areas. Because this tank can shoot a lot, you want to take strong advantage of that. The penetration on the base round at 160 is going to be good enough for most things. It's a relatively reliable APCR round 2. He's using it right now at a T-28 prototype. There is a way for the base round to go through the turret, but it has to hit at a very specific location. The mobility of the Hellcat is one of those things that's pretty deceptive. It has great straight line speed, but it has awful traverse. So the agility of the tank is not going to be very good. This typically gets people killed because they think because of that straight line speed that they're a scout and they should go scouting. And that's generally not a good idea in the Hellcat. You want to use that straight line speed to get to a position very quickly, set up, get a ton of shots, and then relocate when you found out. So Max did the vision game for a while where he just kind of played the invisible sniper role, and now he's getting to a more offensively dominant role, and he's going to show the effective aim time of the tank in peekaboo wars. So he's going to peek on unsuspecting enemies, or enemies who can even see him, but they can't really react fast enough. It's really important in the Hellcat not to get hit. Like, if there's a chance that they could hit you, don't take the shot, simply because the hit points at 570 are so incredibly low. The armor is super thin at 12 millimeters. That means if any shell hits your tank, it's going to auto-penetrate with no chance of a bounce. The mantlet can absorb some shots, but it's not something that you really want to rely on. Regarding the game, what Max is doing here is fairly subtle. He is sitting within proximity spotting of the Hellcat, so the enemy definitely knows he's here. You can see on the east side the green team is moving closer into position, and he is just kind of sitting here waiting for developments to be made. And this is something that a lot of people, including myself, don't take advantage of enough. When you know you have an advantage and you know that it's going to get bigger, just kind of wait it out and see how patterns go. For example, my first thought was, hey, I should go back to base and take care of that. But Max's teammate or platoon mate probably has that area covered. If the KV-1S and the Hellcat and the T-28 Proto look away, Max can get some damage in on their backsides like there. It's very tempting to think that, oh, I got to get my gun into the game, or I got to flank, I got to do something really proactive, but there are some times where you can do a lot just by sitting there and getting the enemy's attention. For example, right now, and this is very subtle, he's pulling the enemy turrets away from his teammates so his team can get shots on the Hellcat and the T-28 Proto. So he's enabling the guns of his team rather than just enabling his gun. Max wrote up a full review, link in the comments, go check it out. Hope you enjoyed. Happy hunting.